I don't know about any of you, but with the new year here, Steph and I are going through everything we own and doing a lot of decluttering right now. We just want to get rid of things we've had that aren't serving us any longer, and that includes books. Steph and I have a huge physical TBR, and it has gotten out of hand, and we're tired of it. So we have been doing a lot of purging of our books, hence why we have been doing a lot of unhaul videos lately, and I'm doing another one today. We are just done with having a huge physical TBR. We're so over it because it's so overwhelming. There's too many choices, and yeah, a lot of the books we have that we've been unhauling we're just not excited about anymore. We've had for way too many years and will never read, or they're books that we have read and we just don't want to keep because we will not be rereading them. So, without further ado, let's get into this yet again book unhaul. Hopefully it'll be the last, and I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. Alright, so we have quite a few books here to go through. So I'm going to go through these as fast as I can. I will list all the books down in the description box for you if you want to go look any of them up if they interest you. But like I said, we're getting rid of these books because we just don't need them any longer. They're not serving a purpose, and we're really trying to bring our physical TBR down this year and only focus on owning books that we're excited about and that we really want to read, and books that we've read and are like our favorites and we want to reread. If that makes sense, everything else is going. We always donate these books to little free libraries that we show so they go to a good home and somebody else can enjoy them. So I'm going to show you all the books that we are unhauling today. Here we go. Alright, so the first one we're unhauling, this one is called When You Wish Upon a Duke by Sharis Michaels. This is a historical romance. We have a bunch of historicals. Steph and I love this genre, but we just have way too many of these. I don't know how we've accumulated so many over the years, but we have, and we just don't need this many. So we've started going through them and rereading the plots and really doing our research, because in the past we would buy books impulsively without researching them to see if they're actually for us. And we're finding that a lot of the books that we own are just not our cup of tea. We're very picky when it comes to romance. So, yeah, just have no interest in reading this any further, so have not read this, and we don't plan on reading it, so we are just gonna donate this and give it a new home. The next one is another historical romance. This is called A Duchess A. Same author. I believe this is like in the same series as the previous book. Absolutely love the covers on these. The condition's great. But again, just lost interest. Don't think it's for us. Will probably work for somebody else. We do love this genre, but we're very picky with historical romance. So we just don't see ourselves reading this series, so we are getting rid of that. Next is another historical romance. This is called In the Highlanders Bed by Kathy Maxwell. Again, same thing. I'm going to sound like a broken record with the historicals, but just not interested any longer. And this is a very old, beat-up copy. I feel like we probably got this from like a little free library or something. Most of the books that we are getting rid of, we've owned for like so many years. And most of them we bought like super cheap. Most of them are used. So we don't really feel bad about getting rid of them. So another historical romance. Just not interested anymore, so we're going to get rid of that. Next, we have a historical called Once Upon a Tower by Eloisa James. And again, beautiful cover. This one's a little bit older. Had this one for a while, just not interested, so we're just going to get rid of it. And also this one from the same author, Eloisa James. We have A Kiss at Midnight. And Steph has actually tried some of these. She's tried reading them and just couldn't get into them. So this is another one that we're just not going to be keeping at this time. Same from this author, we have When Beauty Tamed the Beast. I think this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and we're just kind of over them at the moment. They've been very overdone, so we just don't feel like we need to have this one any longer. And this one is Beauty Tempts the Beast by Lorraine Heath. Same thing, just not interested any longer. This one's pretty beat up. I don't know if you could tell, but just not interested. We're just not keeping all of the historicals. We just have way too many, and we really only read them like once in a while, not very often, so don't need this one. We'll be getting rid of that one as well. And then more historical romance. We have this one called The Prince of Broadway by Joanne Shoup. Again, same thing, just not interested. Going to get rid of it. And then we have this one from Tessa Dare called Say Yes to the Marquess. Again, beautiful cover, but just not interested in this any longer. And then from Tessa Dare, we also have When a Scot Ties the Knot. Again, same thing, just not going to read it. So, gonna give it a new home. And then from Tessa Dare, we also have Romancing the Duke. And again, same thing with all the historicals. Just don't need them anymore, so we're getting rid of it. And then another historical we have To Beguile a Beast. This is book 3 in the Legend of the Four Soldiers series by Elizabeth Hoyt. I know this author is like very popular, but just not interested. And this one is book 3 in the series, which sometimes when we don't research books, we or especially if we find them in little free libraries, we don't realize that they're like the third book in a series, and we take them, and then we like get home and realize like, oh, this is actually like in a series, and we're those people that like to really read series in order. So if we just have like a second or third book and we haven't read the first one, we just don't feel the need to keep it because we're probably not going to read the series for a while, and we can't even read this for a while since we want to start with book 1. So it just doesn't make sense for us to keep books that are in a series unless we've actually read that series, if that makes sense. Okay, and then some more historicals. I told you there were a lot of historical romances. This one's called How to Forget a Duke by Vivian Lorette. And again, same thing. Just not interested any longer. Have way too many of these. Gonna get rid of that. Next historical romance is A Rogue by Any Other Name by Sarah McLean. I know this is also a really popular romance author. And again, just not interested anymore. So we are going to donate it. The next book I have, we've actually had this for a while, and I actually read this book and I really enjoyed it, like probably a couple years ago, and that is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. You guys know Steph and I love Christina Lauren. We're a huge fan of their books. We've read quite a few, and we really like their books and their writing. They write such great adult romance. Highly recommend checking out their books. So I read this one a few years ago, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 4 or 5 stars. And then Steph actually tried this, but she DNF'd it. And I don't want to spoil anything, but she basically didn't like one of the characters. And I feel like if I read this now, I would probably agree with her. But she didn't like one of the characters, and there's something that happens like later in the book that she really just did not care for at all. So she DNF'd it. But yeah, I feel like if I read this now, I'd probably agree with her. But I read it so long ago, so I had a different opinion. I really enjoyed it. And we actually gave this to our sister to borrow because she got married last year, and I told her this would be like the perfect book to read on her honeymoon. So she actually did take this with her and read it on her honeymoon, and she really enjoyed it. But she's like a newer reader, so she's not that picky. But yeah, so I really like this, and I love the cover. It's gorgeous. I think it's actually going to be a movie, which is cool. I'll definitely see the movie when it comes out. But it's just not my favorite book from them. So again, we're trying to be really picky with books that we keep this year. So since I've already read this, I don't really see myself reading it again. And Steph's probably not going to read it because she DNF'd it. I just feel like it's kind of time to get rid of it and give it a new home so somebody else can enjoy it. This next book is like a kind of like fashion-y nonfiction book. This is called How to Buy Your Perfect Wedding Dress. So this was actually written by the owners of Kleinfeld Bridal. If any of you watched Say Yes to the Dress on TLC, let me know. I've loved that show for like so many years. I grew up watching it. So a long time ago, I actually bought this book from them on Amazon, and it's all about like how to buy your wedding dress. Like it has like information on the different fits and styles that you can get for like your body type. And I love fashion, so I like reading about things like this, but I've had this for such a long time, and I think I already finished it. I pretty much finished it, and I've never, like, looked at it again, and I don't really think I will. I'm not getting married anytime soon, and I already know how to dress for my body type now, So I just don't really think I need this anymore as a resource, so I think it's time to give this a new home, but I did enjoy that. The next book is one of Steph's. This is called The Hedge Witch of Foxhale by Anna Bright. This one is, I think it's like a fantasy. I could be wrong. I don't know too much about it, but I think this one's pretty hyped up. And Steph bought it, I think, brand new. It's like a brand new hardcover, and I believe she tried this and she DNF'd it. I don't know why, but I think like it was something with like the writing style. There was just something about it that she couldn't connect with, so we're deciding to unhaul that one. This next one is called Lies and Weddings by Kevin Kwan. This is the author who wrote Crazy Rich Asians, and Steph and I actually really like the movie for Crazy Rich Asians, and she's read the first book, and she really liked it. But this is actually a signed first edition, which is cool. Brand new copy. I think Steph got this at the bookstore when she worked there. But yeah, I don't really exactly remember why she's getting rid of it. I feel like she probably just lost interest, or she might just want to like borrow it from the library instead. We're finding that some of our books that we've purchased, we would rather like read them digitally on Kindle or just kind of borrow them from the library instead of like having them physically on our shelves, especially if we don't know if we're gonna like it. So I think she's just getting rid of this copy, and then she'll just borrow it from the library if she ever wants to read it. The next book that I'm getting rid of, I actually just found this in a little free library recently. This is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. You guys know we love Colleen Hoover. We're big fans, read many of her books. I'm actually reading Ugly Love by her right now when I'm filming this. So I got this from a little free library actually, which is very lucky, and the conditions are great. So the reason I'm getting rid of this is because I actually didn't realize that this is, I think, one of the books in the Hopeless series. And I don't think you have to like read them in order or anything like that. I think it's more of like a companion, but again, I'm the kind of person where like when I find out something's part of like a series, I really want to read the series in order, if that makes sense. And I believe I read Hopeless like a million years ago, like in high school or something, and I only read the first book, and I never continued the series, and I don't know if I will, honestly, at this point. So knowing that this is one of the books in that series, I just like don't really feel like I need to own the physical copy, if that makes sense, because I don't own any of the other books in the series, and I don't really see myself reading them, and if I do, I could just borrow them from the library or buy them on Kindle. So since I don't have any of the other books physically, I figured like there's no point in having this. I won't be reading it for a very long time. So, and it was free. I got it in a little free library, so didn't spend any money on it, so I don't see a problem with getting rid of it. So this one is going as well. The next one my parents actually had. My parents read a little bit. They like more nonfiction, and we're huge fans of the show Duck Dynasty. So I think my mom got this book from a used bookstore, and this is called Happy, 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 My Life and Legacy as the Duck Commander by Phil Robertson. So I think my mom got this at a used bookstore or something, and I think she started reading it, and it just wasn't for her. She didn't really realize that it's all about like hunting and stuff, which that's not really her cup of tea, so she's just getting rid of this one. So I added it to the pile. The next one Steph is getting rid of. This is called Song of the Six Realms by Judy L. Lin. And I think this is some kind of Asian fantasy. And I think she tried this one and DNF'd it. She's pretty picky nowadays with her fantasy. And I think just something about it didn't work for her. I don't know if it was the writing or the storyline, but she just wasn't a fan. So we're getting rid of this one as well. Next I have some cozy mysteries that we're getting rid of. This one's called Death by Darjeeling by Laura Childs. This is the first book in the Tea Shop Mysteries. So I think we found this one in a little free library. It's like really, really good condition. Honestly, now that I'm looking at this again, I might hold on to it. I'm not sure. But Steph and I just really don't like reading mass market paperbacks anymore. They're just like such an awkward size. And I actually prefer reading cozy mysteries on my Kindle for some reason. I think because I would rather read them digitally than like this size, and you know, most cozies come in these size. So honestly, this is one of those books where I do want to read the series. It sounds cute with the tea shop, but I just really don't want this edition. And like I said, I'm kind of gravitating more towards just having cozy mysteries on my Kindle instead of physically, just to save room on the shelf. And I actually like reading cozies better on Kindle. And I think the library probably has this too. So I'm still debating on this one, but most likely will get rid of it and then just read like the Kindle version, if that makes sense, later on if I'm interested. But it's not one I'm in a hurry to get to because I'm still trying to work on so many other cozy mystery series that I've already started, so I just don't feel like I need to own this copy. Next we have a manga that Steph is getting rid of. She's like more of the manga reader in our household. This is called Orange, and I think Steph's had this one for a very long time. I think she started it and just didn't want to read it anymore. But like the artwork is really, really nice. So yeah, we don't read mangas very often. We have them like on hand. We'll read them once in a while, but not very much. So don't need this one. We're going to give this one a new home. The next book we have is an adult romance. This is called If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy. And this is one of the books in the Meant to Be series. This is like a companion series. And they're all written by different authors, and they're all like fairy tale retellings of different fairy tales. So this is like a Cinderella retelling, and Steph and I have had this for a very long time. I feel like we've had this for like 3 or 4 years, and we've never really gotten around to reading it until now. So we've owned it for so long, and Steph actually just tried to read this, and she DNF'd it. And she really liked it and everything. We love Cinderella. It's a Cinderella retelling, and it's also like the Bachelor plot. And Steph really liked what she read from it, but she just like ended up DNFing it because she found that she didn't really like the Bachelor plot for this book because she thought that like the male and female had a really good connection in the beginning. So it's like you already see their connection, and then she's on The Bachelor. And she has to see him, like, dating the other girls. And, of course, like, that's the Bachelor plot. Like, Steph and I love watching The Bachelor on TV. We love watching it on TV, but we just feel like for this book, not really a fan. Because, you just want to see the two characters together. And Steph said most of the book is, like, him getting to know the other girls. So, like, he's not even with the female love interest that much. And we like our romances, like, where the characters are together, like, the entire time. So just not a fan of the Bachelor plot in this book. So Steph decided to DNF it. So I'm probably not going to read it because we tend to have like pretty much the same opinions. I trust her opinion. So we are going to get rid of this one. The next one Steph's getting rid of. This is called Tokyo Ever After. And this is a Asian, I think it's a fantasy or something. I'm not sure. Steph told me this is kind of like an Asian version of like the Princess Diaries. She had this for many, many years on her shelf and actually decided to try it recently, and she read a little bit of it. She just couldn't get into it, so we're just gonna get rid of that one. The next one is called From Little Tokyo with Love. And this is Steph's too. She's had this one for quite a while, and again, I think she tried reading it recently and just wasn't able to get into it, so just gonna get rid of this one as well. The next one is called Twin Crowns, and this is like a fantasy. I don't know anything about it. This is Steph's copy, and I'm pretty sure she just decided she's not interested anymore, so we're gonna get rid of it. Next we have a manga. This is called, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, Ouran High School Host Club. I don't know this one. Steph's the manga reader, so I'm not familiar with it, but this is a manga, and I think she's had it for a while, and she just lost interest, so we're going to get rid of that one. Next is another manga. This is called Rent a Girlfriend. I feel like this one's pretty popular, and again, I think Steph's just had this for a long time, and just like lost interest in it, so we're going to get rid of it. The next one is a middle grade book. This is The School for Good and Evil. Got this at Books A Million in the bargain section. You could see it was only $5. Steph got this a while ago when we went shopping there, and we do like to read middle grade occasionally, but we're not big middle grade readers as a whole, so just had this for a while, never got to it, so we just don't feel like we need to keep it, and I think we found it on either Libby or Hoopla, so if we ever want to borrow it, we'll just borrow it from the library. We just don't feel like we need to own the physical copy, so we're going to get rid of this one. The next one we're getting rid of is Little Beach Street Bakery by Jenny Colgan. I actually read this a little while ago. Steph bought this for me for Christmas, I think last year. And I really like this author. She writes just like really fluffy, cute, like adult romance. So I read this one, and I actually I read this last February when we were on our little getaway trip, and I actually filmed a vlog. If you want to watch it, I'll link it up here when I was reading this book. So I actually really liked this, but it just wasn't anything like monumental. It was cute. It wasn't like amazing. You know, it wasn't like something that I would read again or anything like that. So I just don't feel like we need to keep it, and I don't think Steph has plans of reading it. But it was cute. I highly recommend it. It's just like I said, it was nothing crazy, like nothing I feel like I need to like keep on my shelf, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna get rid of it. But I did enjoy it. The next one is Where We End and Begin. This was also a Books A Million bargain book. Got it super cheap. And I don't even remember why Steph's unhauling it. I think she just like lost interest in it. But she did read another book from this author and enjoyed it, but just doesn't want to read this one. The next one we're getting rid of is Faking Christmas by Carrie Winfrey. We love this author, but the reason we're getting rid of this, we haven't read it yet, is we actually own it on Kindle. I actually decided to buy the Kindle version instead because it was only like $5, and this book is like pretty short. So I just don't feel like we need the physical copy. We already have the Kindle copy, and I'd honestly just prefer to read it on Kindle since it's so short. So we are just going to give this one a new home, but still haven't read it. We still want to, and just haven't gotten around to it quite yet. The next one we're getting rid of is How to Love Your Neighbor by Sophie Sullivan. We've had this one for quite a while. This is an adult romance, and I still do want to read this. It's like a like neighbors romance, and I think it's enemies to lovers. I still want to read it, but we actually just found out that it's like the second book in a series or a companion or something. So I want to read the first book first before getting to this one, and we don't own the first one, so I'll probably just like read it from Kindle or the library. So just don't feel like we need to own this any longer because won't get to it for a very long time. So it would just be sitting on the shelf. And I definitely want to read the first one first, so we're just going to get rid of this copy. The next one is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I think this is a fantasy, and I think Steph tried this and just didn't work for her, so we're going to get rid of it. The next one is The Last Blood Carver. Again, I don't know anything about this, but Steph doesn't want to read it anymore, so we are going to get rid of it. The next one is A Princess for Christmas by Jenny Holiday. We have had this for a very long time. It's a Christmas romance. Still haven't read it. We have not gotten around to it. But I really like this author. She writes really cute books, cute romances. And the reason we're getting rid of this is we actually also have the Kindle copy, just like Faking Christmas. Decided to get it on Kindle because this past Christmas season, it was on sale for $2 in the Kindle store. So I bought it. I figured I would rather read it on Kindle anyways. It's just one of those books. So because we have the Kindle copy, we just don't feel like we need the physical copy. And we'll just read the Kindle copy when we're ready. So we're going to get rid of this one. The next book is Violet Made of Thorns. Again, this is another like fantasy that Steph had. I guess it's like a dark fantasy. I don't know anything about it, but I think she just lost interest, so we're going to get rid of that one. Next, we have a middle grade book. Steph loved the series like growing up. I don't think I ever read it. I maybe read like one or two of them, but this is a middle grade old series called Beguile. I don't know if any of you remember this series. Let us know if you read it. But we read this in like middle school, and Steph got this book for $1, like a used bookstore. I think this is the last one. And she actually just read it recently, and she really liked it, but she's kind of done with the series at this point. It's very young for us. It's middle grade. So she's done with it. She read it, so we're just going to get rid of it. The next book is called Promise of Darkness, and this is another like fantasy. Steph tried this one recently, and I think she said it's too similar to another series. I want to say she said it was like Throne of Glass or something. So she just felt it was too similar and that she didn't need to read it. So we're going to get rid of it. The next one is called Bryony or Brinny, I'm not sure how to say it, and Roses from T. Kingfisher. We actually found this pretty recently from a little free library, and We actually filmed a video on that, so I'll link it. Go watch it, and you can see where we found this. We got it pretty recently in our bookish vlog. Go check that out. But Steph actually read this already. Her first T. Kingfisher book. It's very short, and she enjoyed it. It's like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it was nothing monumental or crazy, so she just doesn't feel like she needs to keep it, so we're going to get rid of it. The next book we're getting rid of is My Favorite Half-Night Stand by Christina Lauren. Again, you know we love Christina Lauren, but we've had this book for forever, like so many years. Neither of us have read it yet, and I still do want to read it because I love this author. But I feel like I just want to read it digitally instead. I don't feel like I need to own this anymore, if that makes sense. I don't feel like we need it on our shelves. So I'm just going to borrow this from the library. I already put a hold in on Libby to request it, and I'll just read it on Kindle when it comes in. I just don't feel like I need to own this anymore, but I definitely still want to read it, so we're going to get rid of that copy. I have some self-help books next. This one is called Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. I have been wanting to read this for a very long time. As an introvert, I feel like it'd be interesting, and I have not gotten around to reading it yet, and I've actually found this in a little free library, which is awesome. I was really happy about it, but then I ended up getting it on Kindle instead because it was a Kindle deal in the Kindle store for like $2. So I prefer also to read a lot of self-help books digitally, since I really just read them once and that's it. So I have the Kindle version, so I just don't feel like I need this copy anymore, so we're going to get rid of it. But I definitely do want to read this still. The next one we're getting rid of is The Miracle Equation by Hal Elrod, and this is the author who did like The Miracle Morning and all that. You probably know who he is. I loved The Miracle Morning, read it. My mom read it, and Steph read it. We really like him and his books. So this is The Miracle Equation. I did read this already, and I really liked it. Very enjoyable, recommend, but just don't feel like I need to hold on to it any longer. I feel like I hold on to self-help books for way too long after I read them, and honestly, I really don't read them again. I like to read them in my morning routine just to learn something, but I just don't reread them. So I was like, why am I holding on to all these self-help books that I'm not going to read again? So really enjoyed this, but we're just going to give it a new home since I've already read it. The next self-help book I have is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Again, I read this years ago, and I really enjoyed it, but I have not looked at it since, and I've been holding on to it for way too long, so we are going to give this one a new home as well. The next one I just read recently, I really enjoyed this. I actually got this book at Hobby Lobby in their book section because they have like a lot of Christian books. This is called Who Are You Following by Sadie Robertson Huff. So she's from the Duck Dynasty family. And I really like Sadie Robertson. She's like an amazing young woman, amazing godly Christian example. So I wanted to read this, and I got it on sale at Hobby Lobby. And it's all about like being careful who you follow on social media as a Christian and things like that. And I really enjoyed this a lot. I read it pretty recently. It was very, very good and insightful. I definitely recommend it if you're a Christian. But again, read it. Will I read it again? Probably not. I don't feel like I need to. I feel like I got everything out of it that I wanted to. So we are going to give this one a new home. Almost done. The next one we're getting rid of is A Sweet Mess by J.C. Lee. Steph had this one for a very long time. I think it's also an adult romance. And I just, again, had it for so long, kind of lost interest, not really excited about it anymore. So we are going to get rid of this one as well. And last but not least, we have one more book. This is A Sign of Affection. And this is also like a manga. I don't know anything about this. Again, that's Steph's area. But I think she's had this for a while and just lost interest in it. So we are going to get rid of it. Alright, that is it. We made it to the end of this unhaul. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched this far, really appreciate it. Leave a book emoji in the comments if you watched to the end to let us know. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed this, and we hope it kind of inspired you to go through your book collection and your belongings and declutter and get rid of things that are just no longer serving you. It's such a great feeling to get rid of things. We cannot wait to go drop these off at little free libraries and take you along. We'll definitely film some videos. So yeah, let this encourage you to do some decluttering for the new year. You'll be so happy you did. Let us know in a comment below if you've read any of these books. We would love to know. If you enjoyed them or anything like that. Let us know also what you've been unhauling lately, but thank you so much for watching this video as part of our kind of like New Year reset series. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was helpful and inspiring. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new here. We film books, business, and lifestyle videos every single week here on our channel. We would love for you to come back. Thank you so much for your love and support. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you in our next video. Bye!